Coming up this hour on American Graduate Day, ABC News anchor and correspondent Rebecca Jarvis and acclaimed author, producer, and broadcaster Wes Moore.
At KET, education is our middle name. We're proud to be part of lifelong learning.
Happy American Graduate Day!
Hi, I'm Ingrid Michelson, and I'm thrilled to be a part of American Graduate Day. I was so shy as a kid, and I started taking a children's theater class and doing choir, and my mom said I was a different kid. All of a sudden I was outgoing, I was confident. That confidence has never gone away. It's just kind of grown and continued on through my adulthood. So VH1 Save the Music is such a great foundation because they're bringing music back to the kids who desperately need it. I think that music helped me shape who I am today. You know, it gives you confidence, it gives you joy, it gives you a way to connect to people when maybe you don't know how else to connect to them. To rob children of that is just criminal. And so I think that's why VH1 and Save the Music is so important, that they're helping kids to keep this very important thing in their life.
Welcome back to American Graduate Day. I'm Rebecca Jarvis, and as you just heard from Ingrid Michelson, connecting with people is so important to the development of young people. This is particularly true for those denied a chance to make a meaningful connection with an older male or female who can offer kindness, support, and guidance. That's what our next hour is about, the importance of a caring and consistent adult in every youngster's life. It's something big brothers and big sisters have understood since a court officer in 1904 noticed that so many young men in probation lacked a solid role model in their lives. Today, its impact on some 250,000 at-risk kids each year is evident, from better school attendance and grades to keeping more kids off the streets. The contributions of time and caring made by men and women remains the backbone of big brothers and big sisters today, and a perfect example of that is with us now. Tom Fascia, recently named Big Brother of the Year, a national honor, and his little brother Amir. It's so nice to have both of you with us, Tom and Amir.
Nice to be here.
Thank you.
And Tom, you were just telling me you're downplaying this award that you just received from Big Brothers Big Sisters. How did you come into Big Brothers and Big Sisters in the first place?
Well, I've been doing volunteering for about 15 years now, and I started in high school at Morris Catholic High School, went to Providence College, did a lot of volunteering there as well, and after school took a little bit of time off from that, started to get my career in order, and I got that itch very quickly thereafter, and spoke to my wife, who had helped connect us through Big Brothers Big Sisters, and met the wonderful people at Big Brothers Big Sisters, Northern New Jersey, and had the opportunity to meet Amir there, and that's going on about 8.5 years now.
You met Amir. Amir, you were 6 years old when you first met Tom. Do you remember that?
Yes. We went to this building, and I have just woken up from a nap, and I was all mad and didn't want to go. But then Tom made me laugh, and then we got connected.
So you went kicking and screaming, but ultimately when you met Tom, things changed.
Yes.
How did your life change?
A lot, because I get to see how Tom does stuff, so I could do it when I get older and see how a man acts.
A man. How does it feel to hear that, Tom?
It feels great. It really does.
And I'm sure this has changed you, this relationship as well.
It has. It has. It's changed me quite a bit, and it's also helped cement a lot of my upbringing and my wonderful parents who put me in this place and are the driving influence for me doing this kind of work.
You have shared so many happy, laughing moments. I heard there was one involving some ketchup.
Yes.
Tell me about that, Amir.
Well, we were at a diner, and Tom didn't know the cap was not on all the way in the diner, so he shook the ketchup up, and it got up on the curtains in the diner.
So you washed some dishes at a diner that day.
Yeah, and I have plenty of stories as well. And one of our favorites being coming out of a Nets game, doing our best impressions of all the players and all the moves they did. And Amir took quite a spill in the tunnel coming out.
A little bruising of the ego, maybe. What's your favorite moment from the years that you've shared with Tom Amir?
I don't really have a favorite. I like all of them. They're fun. He's funny and nice.
Yeah. How about you, Tom?
I think probably a favorite moment, it's an annual event. We do a trip down to my family's shore house, and it's always a lot of fun going to the boardwalk, going in the beach. Amir's gotten better at boogie boarding and swimming in the ocean and spending time with the entire family.
You saw the ocean for the first time, I'm told. Mm-hmm. With Tom. Mm-hmm. What was that like?
It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's always, he does a lot of family events with us, holidays, trips down the shore, different events, and he's part of the family.
How, Tom, for those of us who may feel like life is so busy, it's so difficult, they see this relationship you have with Amir, they want this relationship, but they're afraid to take it because they're afraid of what that might mean for their life and their time. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I get asked that question a lot, and I just kind of smile a little bit. I am, if you talk to anyone that knows me, an incredibly busy person. I never stop going, doing something, work, activities, golf, whatever it is. There's always time. There's always time. I think it's something else that may be telling people it's not right for them, but to find 2 to 3 hours a week, think of the amount of time you're sitting there watching TV. There's more than enough time to do it.
Amir, what do you say to those people who, there are other people like yourself who are out there who would love to have a Tom in their lives? What do you say to those people about taking that chance in life and becoming a big brother or big sister?
To go and do it because it's a lot of fun when you get to meet the person that you're with.
To get to meet the person that you're with?
The big brother or the...
What do your friends think?
They don't really care.
Are they jealous?
No.
They're not jealous?
I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of his friends, and they're all great kids, just like Amir, and we've had a lot of fun hanging out with them too.
A lot of fun. And your family is now, Amir, Tom just said you're part of the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
How is that with your family and Amir?
It's great. It is as comfortable as could possibly be. He's at every single holiday with us. And I joke now, there are times where I'm off with my son Michael or my daughter Eliana or my wife Tracy helping getting things in order. And Amir's just hanging out with my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, watching football. And he's just the most comfortable kid sitting there. And he's a family member.
What was it like? I know you downplay this, but what was it like? And this is a huge honor to get the Big of the Year award.
Yeah, I've been asked that question a lot, and I actually am even more honored to get our Northern New Jersey award because these are the people that really know Amir and I, and they know the relationship we have. It's a great honor to win the state and the national one as well, you just don't do it for awards though. So it's nice though. We had a good time.
Amir, you were proud of him?
Yes.
Good deal. Well, spoken like a true big brother. It's so nice to meet you, Amir. Best wishes for the career as a chef or a computer technologist. And Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, we all have busy lives, but so many big brothers like former NYC Police Commissioner Howard Safir or Jamie Foxx who have found time in their hectic schedules to shepherd a youngster like Amir. Every child needs someone to look up to help guide them. And right now, there are more than 30,000 children in the country waiting to find a match like Tom. If you think you might qualify, then email us or text us to learn how to become a big sister or a big brother. Become an American champion like this one you're about to learn from our sister station, KCWC, Angie Schultz.
I've always loved English, but when I came here, she made me realize I loved it more.
She's always like cracking jokes or just trying to make us smile because we're stuck here away from our families.
She makes things brighter. She makes them fun. It's really helped us here because this is a hard place to be.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Schultz.
Yes, I love it.
Angie brings energy and enthusiasm without a doubt. My name's Ed Meyer. I'm the director of the Wyoming Cowboy Challenge Academy, which is the Wyoming National Guard's Youth Challenge program. And our mission is to help at-risk teenagers get their life back on track to become responsible and productive citizens for our state and for our nation.
Other teachers have kind of like put me down and told me I couldn't do things, you know. And Ms. Shelton encourages me to read books, push myself, try new things. I read my first book here, which is pretty crazy.
She helps us. She's more of a mother than anything.
Before I came here, I was in a town that you saw crystal meth on every street that you were at. When I came here, you know, the girls became my sisters, and these guys are really good friends to me. And she's taught me what friends are and what a family feels like.
This is my passion. This is my life's work. And I'm lucky enough to have a family that understands my drive.
From Wyoming, a story about a teacher who taught a student how to read his first book, but also teaches kids what it means to have a family and a community. To our next story, this one from Omaha, Nebraska, about a young man who had his prayers answered from despair to hope and ultimately community leadership by another caring and consistent adult.
As I graduated from college and started my career, as I traveled around the country, one of the things I noticed was the disparities. You know, on one side of the road you would have shotgun houses, and on the other side you'd have mansions, brick mansions. So as I really looked harder at the data, the amazing disparities that I'd seen across the country was even more extreme here in Omaha. And I just had the question of, is that right? Is that the way it's supposed to be? It started with 3 of us just having a conversation about what are the trends, what's really going on. And that went from 3 to 7 of us having that conversation, and then eventually 10 and eventually 70 of us as we gathered information and went around in my car, really listening to what are the issues and realizing that there's no way that one individual organization will solve this by themselves. We decided to take on the challenge. Could we really make measurable, tangible change in our community if we worked in a more collective way? One of the biggest things that the Empowerment Network is known for is bringing individuals and organizations together, building a common vision and a mission. A big piece of that is we recognize we need to put more intense focus on our African-American young men. These are individuals that when they're in 9th and 10th grade, many, there are strong indications that they were not on the right path. And they've been redirected through coaching, through support, through employment opportunities, the role modeling, the mentoring, making sure that we have men in front of these young guys that they can see what they can be. One of the things I'm most excited about is the young men, the incredibly talented young men that we have in our community. And one example is Byron. He's with the Bannister Leadership Academy, and I've watched him in his abilities to show young people about leadership and his facilitation skills, the passion, and he's one of the most incredible young men I've ever seen. So I'm excited to see that he is finally being recognized in this community for what he is currently doing, but his potential, he's just in the beginning phases of what the impact that he's going to have on this community. He is a dynamic young man, absolutely incredible.
My story is one, of hope, the importance of somebody stepping in to intervene, in the lives of, our youth, to help them to be successful, and definitely a story of a second chance, a second opportunity at life. And I just want to spread that back into the community where I came from as well. Product of a single parent home. If I could probably describe my childhood in one word, it would probably be unstable. I just kind of coasted through high school. D's, C's were fine with me. I actually got involved with smoking marijuana and also drinking alcohol.
When I first met Byron, he really wasn't receiving of any men in his life. So it took a long time for me to even gravitate the relationship and cultivate the relationship. Yeah, he maybe went the wrong way and did things he shouldn't have done, but at the end of the day, he wanted to change. He just needed someone to push him to change.
Wasn't really taught, that you can make an honest living. That's all I was around, was just a lot of the negative role models that the community can provide for young kids. I always believed in God, and before, even when I was doing all that stuff, I would still wake up and pray in the morning and things like that. And one night it was just like a prayer that came from my heart. I just asked God to bring somebody into my life that can help me out. If I don't change now, I don't know what's gonna end up happening to me. So from there, he brought Mr. Bannister.
Bannister Leadership Academy was established through my two cousins who were murdered. Tyrone Bannister in 2007 through gang violence, and recently controlled Bannister in 2010 through gang violence as well. My wife and I started the organization back in 2007. We had a vision to empower youth through leadership. We just didn't know what type of leadership. So we did advocacy, leadership and advocacy. So we wanted to incorporate the historical so they can understand their history. And then we established leadership through historical enrichment. And then we also thought about athletics and teaching about team building activities. And of course, our academic is always our first priority. And then right now it's grown from here from 2010 to 2014, and we're serving about 250 families. Byron was about 14 years old. It was a learning adjustment for myself. Byron was very disrespectful. Byron really couldn't receive anything I told him. It took about 2 years for him to trust me.
Definitely one of the biggest successes that I've had since meeting Mr. Bannister was just being able to understand the importance of setting expectations for yourself, wanting to achieve highly and be successful. One of the things he taught me was the importance of education and the importance of having that educational background in order to be successful at the next level. So currently I'm in college right now at Metro, taking classes towards my liberal arts degree, and I just really feel like that is really something that he's helped me out with. So I definitely want to leave a legacy that just really gives hope to the hopeless. Because hope is really the key to my whole life being changed. When you reach a point in life where you feel like you have no hope and somebody steps in and provides that hope for you, because hope is like something that it's like something that sparks life in people. So I just want an opportunity to get myself elevated into a position where I can actually go back to where I came from and help other people come out the same way I came out.
We often hear the statistics about what's happening to our young men and where they are. One of the things that we forget is no matter whether they're in poverty or currently unemployed, every single one of them has incredible potential. And we have to stop underestimating what they can do because of their environment, because there's story after story. I think of some of the young men that have been a part of this initiative over the last few years, and they came from very difficult circumstances, things that we can't even imagine, but they overcame it, they were resilient, and that's what we have to understand and send that message. No matter where you started, you have the ability to achieve your dreams. Make sure you understand your strengths, make sure you understand what your talents and gifts are, and that we need as a community to come around our young men and young women to help them reach their highest potential. That's the key message.
That is the key. And as Jack Welch put it, before you are a leader, success is all about growing yourself. When you are a leader, success is all about growing others. Our next piece tells the story of a highly successful entrepreneur who donated most of his efforts and personal fortune to growing the success of others. In this case, an entire community desperately in need of help through the foundation of greater education. His name, Harris Rosen.
Education was the linchpin. If I could do what I've done, why can't others?
Nothing speaks to Harris Rosen's passion for education more than Tangelo Park, the neighborhood once known as a drug-infested, trouble-plagued community near International Drive.
Was at my desk one day and just kind of thinking about how lucky I was. This is going to sound a little bit strange, but I did have sort of an epiphany, and I did hear a voice say that it was time for me to give back. So I called a couple of folks together. Bill Spoon, Sarah Sprinkle, both of whom had been in education for a long time, and I shared with them my ideas. And within an hour, we put the program together. Every 2, 3, and 4-year-old in the neighborhood would have an opportunity to go to preschool, and we would create the preschool opportunities. At the end of high school and graduation rates, we were convinced would increase exponentially. They were graduating from Tangelo Park maybe 40, 45%. Our goal was 100%. That we would provide a free college education here in Florida to those youngsters. Bingo.
Thanks to Harris Rosen's epiphany, 20 years later, Tangelo Park has become one of the most successful philanthropic projects in Central Florida, helping many children make something of themselves through the opportunities education provides.
In those 20 years, crime in the neighborhood has declined dramatically, close to 60%. Graduation rates in high school are at 100% and have been consistently for the past 8 or 9 years. Listen to this. Of the kids who graduate from high school, 77% go on and graduate from college. Numbers you won't find in the most affluent gated communities in the state.
What an impact. It's hard to know what more can be said about someone like Harris Rosen. His efforts and contributions have transformed an entire community, an above and beyond example of what one very caring and consistent adult can do through creating educational opportunities for those most in need of them. We want to hand it off now to Lauren Wonko, who's out on the street with Sesame Street cast members Chris Knowings and Elmo. Hey, Lauren.
Hi, we are having a great time here. I love my friends from Sesame Street. Hi, Elmo. How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Are you having a good time on our outdoor set here?
Oh, it's great. Elmo loves it.
You do? Now, we heard all about your adventures leading up to preschool, but tell me, what did you already learn from all the great adults on Sesame Street?
Oh, boy. Well, you know, Chris helps Elmo a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever Elmo has a question, he asks Chris or his mommy or his daddy. Yeah, and they help Elmo a lot.
They do. Now, Chris, do you help Elmo with his ABCs, with counting?
ABCs, counting. We learned how to ride a bike together.
Oh, that's right.
Got the helmet all right, with the knee pads. Oh, yeah, you rode it on your own, too.
Yeah, baby.
Did you fall down at all, Elmo?
Well, a little bit.
A little bit? Any scratches or bruises?
Just a little boo-boo on his knee.
But did you get, oh.
That's fine. That's
did
fine.
it heal?
Don't pity Elmo.
But did he get back out on the bike?
He got right back up and he had a great time, too. He had a great time.
Cool.
So now, Chris, we're talking a lot with our viewers about their American Graduate champions.
Oh.
And I want to know, who's your champion?
Oh, that's easy.
What do you think, Elmo? You want to know that too?
Elmo wants to know.
Okay, so let's hear.
There's a hard-hitting interview.
It's definitely my mom.
We might not have enough time for this.
It's my mom. My mom was my 8th grade history teacher. Not far from here, right down the street from here. So, best teacher I ever had. Hi, Mom.
Say hi, Mom.
I've always wanted to say hi, Mom, on TV.
I hope, is she watching?
She probably is, and if she's awake, hey, Mom, love you.
But
sorry about the dishes.
Whoops.
You didn't help with the dishes?
Well, Elmo wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
He didn't
but
help.
you will be. You're going to help me clean, right?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you do a lot of chores on Sesame Street?
Well, Elmo tries to.
What do you do?
Well, Elmo guesses he's doing the dishes.
Yes, sweeping, dishes, whatever.
Sweeping dishes. Do you know what I love about you, Elmo, too? You sing a lot. Does that help you remember your ABCs and your numbers?
Oh, that's true. There's lots of songs that help you remember different numbers and letters.
Well, like what? Do you sing together?
Sometimes we do, but not today, right? Because, wait, are you... Go for it.
One of Elmo's favorite songs is about the number 2.
It is? Well, how does it go?
Is my favorite number. 2 is neat. 2 is being together. How much time we got? 2 is sweet.
Once again, I'm William Brangham. In this hour, we're continuing our conversation on the importance of caring and consistent adults. While they say experience is the best teacher, some students don't have the advantage of an influential adult with college experience to help them navigate the complicated college entrance process. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, almost half of Black and Hispanic students have parents with a high school diploma or less. That's where iMentor comes in. For the past 15 years, they've identified underserved high schools and have paired every student with a college-educated mentor to help them navigate the ins and outs of the college prep, application, and financial aid process. Here to tell us more about iMentor is CEO Mike O'Brien, along with mentor-mentee pair Debbie DeFord Minerva and Julia Naomi Blue. Welcome. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So Mike, I wonder if we could just start with you. How did this idea of iMentor actually get started?
Yeah, the idea behind iMentor was that
we could partner with high schools and low-income communities where the vast majority of students would be the first in their family to go to college. And we could go into those schools and match every single student in the school with a mentor. And if we could do that, we could use the community to reimagine the counseling model in schools. And that's when you get to the point where you've got a depth of personal support that matches sort of each student's idiosyncratic journey in this process and what the kind of resources that the school actually needs to do this work.
So we have one of these mentor-mentee pairs here today. Debbie, I wonder if you could tell me a little bit about how did you land in this program?
I like that there was a low in-person commitment. There was an emailing component paired with the in-person meetings, and it just seemed attractive to me, and it seemed doable. And then I met her in September of 2002. You know, she and I, we just loved each other instantly, just on a personal level. But the mentor relationship stuck, and it went somewhere, and it did things for Julia. And there's just nothing like it. It's fantastic.
So Julia, what is it like the first time you're paired with a mentor? What's that feel like?
I think we were connected because at the time I matched mentees based on what they wanted to do for a living. And I was really into reading and writing, and I wanted to be a writer. And she actually worked at Random House. So
it's a perfect match.
It was a perfect match. And it worked out very well because on our first meeting, she brought a bag of books. So it's sort of like Christmas Day for a person like me, because it's sort of like, here, hi, nice to meet you. And I initially went for the bag and we talked about the books. And that's essentially how our relationship sort of blossomed, because we had a very mutual interest in something really important in both of our lives.
So did you need help getting the whole college application process going? I mean, was that a need that you felt like you really needed some help with that?
I needed it because I didn't think about college. Like it was
right?
It was not a thought. No one in my family had gone to college. My mom had actually had her first child when she was in high school and then got married not soon after. So like going to college was not happening. And then Debbie and I had a conversation, and just sort of came out in conversation like, so what are you doing for college? And I was like, I hadn't even thought of it. And I think that's where she really came in. She's like, we can do it together.
Sort of demystifying the process a little bit, helping you cut through the weeds a little.
Yep. Yeah. Like, how do you write your essay? What are you going to write it on? Like, those were things that she was really helpful in doing. Like, I ran all of my essays through Debbie.
So, Julia, you obviously took this ball and ran with it. You graduated from college. You got a great job with the Democratic National Committee, then a job with the Obama campaign. And I understand that you were able to share a little bit of your great success with your mentor. What was that? What happened, and what was that like?
So it was basically a fundraiser. I did major donor fundraising on the campaign and at the DNC, and I invited her to come as my guest. We always have sort of like tickets for family, and it was just great to sort of see someone who had been there from the very beginning. It was a very emotional night. We both cried a little once it was done, and I was just happy that I could share that moment with her.
That must have been a very powerful night for you.
It was a shining moment. You know, I'd heard about what you were doing,
right?
But to see what you were doing was fantastic.
And not just to see her working, but to see her working with the leader of the free world.
Let's
not forget.
Right.
That's a given.
I understand that your experience with Debbie and with iMentor was powerful enough that you've decided you want to keep doing some work like this yourself.
Of course.
Tell me a little bit about that. What do you get out of this?
I was given so much. I think it's a travesty when you don't give back and when you don't get back into the process. And I knew that I wanted to become more involved with iMentor, and I decided that I wanted a mentee. It's been the greatest thing I think I've ever done, because it allows me to get outside of myself and to spend my time investing in someone else. My mentee has gone through so much stuff. I see so much of my struggle in her. It is a very important relationship to me.
Thank you again very much, and congratulations for a remarkable program you've got going.
Thank you for having us.
Join the iMentor team. Log on to AmericanGraduate.org and support this amazing organization by becoming a mentor yourself. From what we've just heard, you'll certainly get back more than you give. Stay with us.
American Graduate Day, a live nationwide outreach event.
Everyone at WUSF is proud to be part of American Graduate Day.
Together we are making a difference.
Welcome back to American Graduate Day. Wes Moore here again. So we are continuing our discussion on the need for a caring and consistent adult in a child's life. Getting preschoolers prepared for school is the first step. Starting school is one thing. Staying in school can be something else. This even goes for some exceptionally gifted kids who live in neighborhoods where the choice between school and the streets is not an easy one. The Raise Up Project was a nationwide contest open to students between the ages of 15 and 22, and they were offered the chance to express their personal feelings about school and graduation as a poem or a rap. 3 of the finalists who competed are going to be at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. tomorrow, but before they go there, they'll be performing for us live today. You guys have got to check them out. But please welcome our first young poet, Jonathan Williams.
Jonathan Williams, absent. See, I always had the mental capacity and the master key to overcome any academic tragedy, but I had to see and learn from my faults, because my rotten GPA were where my lessons were taught. I was a 3.6 high achiever up in middle school. No guidance resided in my silence in swimming pools. Didn't appreciate the doggy paddle that I had mastered when Jonathan Williams was absent. Alexander Hamilton High, Milwaukee Public Schools finest. I learned the art of skipping classes and wrote Bueller on my eyelids. Detention room sidekick with some fly kicks and a tight click. Balled up homework in the same fist these students fight with. Jonathan Williams, absent. It was tragic. Amidst good times and laughing, my GPA was dragging against a system not meant for me, mentally in misery. My freshman year stats, 102 days absent, 0.0 GPA, all Fs, swimming pool, doggy paddle. Drowning, I started a movement for improvement, but couldn't dry off with the white towels my teachers threw in. I tried to show my mind can grow like every other student, but people pass on your perspective when your presence also truant. More than a reflection of a freshman year screw up with a blueprint of a ladder, but no tools for me to move up. No electricity, mom and pop's missing, so have them drop out. That's just family tradition. Jonathan Williams, absent. I found a flashlight by the name of Uncle Jeff. Moved in, the floor and 3 pillows were enough for me to stay focused, make sure this hopeless ship stays floating. But by my senior year, I was actually a senior. You know, dressed a little clean up, professional demeanor. Seems to be I'm on track like Jackie Joyner with 6 medals, fighting my academic debt and my 5th medal. But the worst thing you can see when you made it and educated are the people who gave up and those obstacles you evaded. Because I mean, we quicker to give up than you do. I mean, we're just like YouTube. We just broadcast ourselves and hope that you like it. Maybe care to comment, because I didn't need to be hooked on phonics. I just needed the people around me to be critical and honest, because we don't know yet that resources and allocated money is the hood's morphine. Only scholarships I knew of was professional sports teams. Now I'm here. I'm at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, scholar and resident. Full tuition scholarship and Kappa Alpha Psi president. So we can be useless, clueless, ruthless, just a nuisance, worthless, workless, just the worst urban person, but we gotta reconstruct our approach to avoid these different labels and synonyms and help the youth overcome this system that's not meant for them.
Jonathan, you are no longer absent. You are very much present. Thank you. And as Jonathan just phrased it, the worst thing you can see when you're educated are the people that gave up and the obstacles that you evaded. But thankfully, as this broadcast keeps demonstrating, there are organizations and more importantly, people dedicated to ensure that that will not happen. And they are people like heroes of mine, the Williams family, Jane, Brian, Allison, and Doug, and organizations like Horizons National.
Hi, second graders.
These are my friends Brian and Jane, and they're coming in to say hi to you. Hi.
I think if life has been good to you, if you've had any advantages coming up, it's really important to think about giving back.
Hi, you guys. How's it going? I think everyone who knows about Horizons
immediately latches onto it because it just makes sense. It's giving opportunity to these children who may not otherwise have it.
There's no reason why this can't be in every city in America. Wherever there's a need, Horizons should be. Are you guys enjoying Horizons so far?
Yeah. Horizons is a network of transformative summer experiences that go from pre-K in some cases all the way up to college.
There's a terrible thing called summer slide. Sounds like it might be fun. It's the opposite. It affects children with socioeconomic needs disproportionately in this country.
Summer really is a detrimental time for them. They fall behind in reading and math several months every single summer. And by the time they're in 5th grade, they've fallen so far behind that they really can't make up that time. And that's a tragedy.
So Horizons works to correct that and make sure that 2 kids that have the same brain are able to achieve as much as the other. Whatever's happening at home, whatever's happening during the summer at home, doesn't distract them and derail them too much so they can achieve their absolute potential.
There are 3 components: academic learning, physical activity, and enrichment.
Field trips and arts and music and drama.
Those kinds of things that aren't in every child's life. That's where Horizons comes in.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P.
It's all fun learning. It's all things that do improve you as a student.
We do fun stuff, but we do learning, and we do a lot of learning. And we go on field trips, we go on hikes. Everything.
A lot of the choices are their own. So if it's reading time for them, go find a book that you think looks good and read it. It allows kids to kind of grow by doing things they want to do.
What does that say?
Well, that's a French word. Can you sound it out? I'm happy to say that we not only stop the summer slide for our kids, but we actually send them back to school 2 or 3 months ahead in math and reading.
Today is the last day. And I do not want to leave.
I call it a ticket to ride into the future, that is.
You did all that by yourself?
Really?
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's so cool. My mom was a teacher, and my brothers and I had the privilege of being faculty kids. Horizons was created on that campus. Hello, Isaiah. This is Brian.
Hey, man, how are you?
Good.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
You married? No, I thought I'd ask.
Brian came to visit the program, and to sit with little kids who were doing great stuff was what hooked him, I believe.
Mr. Brian?
Yes.
Did you know we had to do this too?
Well, that's a part of it. Once you see it, once you've been exposed to it, there are only happy customers.
Build a house out of straw.
Yeah, he's saying, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? It's impossible to see the transformation and not say to yourself, well, this is magic.
What's that guy?
That's Australia?
Yep. My entire life has been spent knowing that this was among the more important things to my parents, both of them. I definitely am going to continue that trend, and I hope one day when I have children that they will be sitting in this library listening to stories as well. When there's a volcanic eruption, where's the stuff coming from?
Mantle.
It's coming from the mantle. You guys are really good. I just came here to find out some information about the Earth, so I'm really glad you guys have filled me in.
I'm a smarter person having come here and listened to you guys.
When our son Doug worked in the program, to see the magic through him and to see him begin to realize how lucky he was.
I learned as much as the kids did. I mean, there really is no doubt about that. I was really learning what appreciating life is all about.
Watching my son with little kids, watching my daughter take this on as a cause, it's beyond gratifying.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
We started with one program. It was all by itself for 30 years. We now have 40 and counting. Every day the phone is ringing.
Douglas, hearts up.
That glows from deep within.
Here we go. The data we have from our programs that are mature is that 94% of the Horizons kids graduate from high school and go on to college. That's pretty staggering.
There's a light that binds us together. There's a light that's in us all.
Horizons works because Horizons works. It's so good. My only frustration is, can't all children enjoy this? Can't this wonderful thing go everywhere?
I'd like to think that in 50 years we don't need Horizons. I'd love to put ourselves out of business. If we can't do that, then my wish would be that every community has Horizons, so that we can try really hard to get to a place where we don't need it at all.
You want to talk about forming graduates in America? This is how. You develop this much interest in academic learning, physical activity, and just the enrichment of life. That's how to make American graduates.
Brian really said it all. That's how you make American graduates. And there are some other ways as well, as we will see from one of our next stories of champions. Chris Ellis, who works with at-risk young black men to provide guidance, role models, and hopefully illumination of a better path. From WMHT in Albany, New York, here is another shining American graduate champion.
I'm Christopher Ellis, Chief Executive Officer of the George Biddle Kelly Education Foundation. I work with young at-risk men in the Capital Region. Our goal is to assist them into getting into college and provide general guidance to them for the betterment of their life.
Internships, how to succeed, how to get a job. He'll make sure everything's okay. And if there's ever time I need to talk or maybe help with my studies, he's there for me. This really is preparing us for life.
When kids look at him, they see themselves. So you have to see a reflection in order for you to know where you can go and what you can do.
We want to become a permanent fixture in their life, someone that they can lean on. Education is the way, it's the thing, it's what we need to continue to push for.
It's also good to see that Chris is a man of Alpha Phi Alpha. Thank you so much, Chris, for all you do. We need champions just like you. So thank you, and thank you to WMHT. As our conversation about role models and caring adults in young students' lives continue, we go live to Cincinnati, where our sister station, CET, is ready to expand our guest list. And Regina Carswell Russo is ready to discuss the virtues of mentors as positive forces with her guests from Grad, Cincinnati. Hey, Regina, and welcome to American Graduate Day.
Hi, Wes. How are you?
I am great.
I have to tell you, we're so pleased to be part of American Graduate Day. For more than a decade, Cincinnati has been fertile ground for community organizations interested in improving student outcomes. And a common denominator for many of these is the importance of having caring and consistent adults actively engaged in the lives of young people. And there's one nonprofit organization that has been engaged since 2001. It's called Grad Cincinnati, serving nearly 3,500, yes, I said 3,500 Cincinnati public school students every single year. Grad Cincinnati provides a wide range of academic and non-academic support for students and their family members. And joining me today are Patricia Stewart-Adams, founding executive director of Grad Cincinnati, and two recent graduates of Grad Cincinnati program. Shelton, currently a senior international affairs major at the University of Cincinnati, and Whitney Hollingsworth, a third-year information technology major with a minor in communications at the University of Cincinnati as well. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate you coming on today. Pat, Grad Cincinnati has been serving a large number, as we heard, 3,500 students every year since 2001. 15 years going strong. How did it begin?
It began when Cincinnati Public Schools saw the need that they wanted to get some additional support into their schools to help with the students academically as well as socially and getting those kids ready to go on to college.
There must have been an aha moment when you said this could work.
Well, I was sitting at my desk as a principal, and I was approached about it, and I didn't even take a moment to think about it when they asked me if I wanted to be the executive director for Grad Cincinnati, because I knew that this program can make a difference for many students.
And the key component, mentors.
Mentors, campus family support, bringing in those kind of resources that can make a difference, all those things that are non-academic that can prevent a student from graduating from high school.
Well, let's talk about that. There are a lot of components and different ways that you could be a high school model and that you can mentor and adults can help students. But particularly, I'm interested in those non-academic ways that you can help.
For example, some of our students, many of our students are coming from low-income families. They come with many issues that can prevent them from graduating from high school. Grad Cincinnati seeks out those kind of resources that can make the difference for that student. Be it a student might be homeless. What do? We go out and look for the services that we can bring in to support those students. A student may be having some kind of social problems. We work with mental health agencies to help those students get through those barriers. A student may be living in a home where the parents are not really there for them. We become the parents. We become the father, the mother, the aunts, the uncles. My staff, when they come aboard and become a part of Grad Cincinnati, they have to know that they have to do whatever it takes to make sure that our students are going to be successful.
Very quickly, Alex, did you think that it was possible for you to graduate from high school, more or less college?
Well, it was a little rocky, I'm gonna be honest. Without the consistency, I've gone to 4 different high schools, and so then I really came into my own when I went to Western Hills University, and I found mentorship in Grad Cincinnati.
And Whitney, you faced what a lot of high school kids are facing in urban areas right now. You faced homelessness while you were in high school. How did Grad Cincinnati help you?
Grad Cincinnati helped me a lot because they're ones that I could go to. They were really my home away from home anyway, because I could talk to them about anything. They were really adamant about helping me get scholarships so I could go to college, and thanks to God and thanks to them, I did go to college, and I retained about 17 scholarships going to UC.
Alex, you now have a son who's 3 years old. Grad Cincinnati impacted you, but what did you learn through that experience that you are now passing on to your son?
Well, they introduced me to yoga. And so then I've been able to pass on like all this yoga philosophy, all this sense of peace onto my son, and have that discernment to take a step back and realize how am I impacting him today and the ripple effects of tomorrow.
What's next for you, Ms. Whitney?
Actually, I'm looking for a job now. I'm in a 5-year degree program, and next spring I'll be eligible to co-op and actually do something that's in my field. And I'm looking to be a web developer, so I'm applying to different positions so that I can actually get work experience as a web developer.
And you, Alex?
In my heart, I want to take Benjamin to China. I want to teach in China, and so then I feel if I can teach in China, someone can teach my child.
So I'm wondering if that mentorship relationship that you got in Grad Cincinnati is helping you with your parenting skills, seeing what your needs are for your child, and kind of like meeting your child where your child is, even at the young age of 3.
Yes, they are definitely always concerned. Is Benjamin doing this? Is he doing that? Are you doing this? Are you doing that?
Ms. Pat, very quickly, misconceptions, very quickly, of mentorship. Some people say, I don't have time. What if I don't get along with him? How can I help? Just tell us, how can we break down those misconceptions?
I think those misconceptions can be broken down because it really doesn't take a lot of time. And a lot of times students will seek you out to be a mentor to them. It could just be a passing in a hallway with teachers. It could be working with volunteers that are coming in, doing tutoring. All those are forms of mentorship that you can work with students to do. Our students are...
And so they're meeting the students where they are?
Yes, they meet them exactly where they are.
That's perfect. You know, on American Graduate Day, we're asking our audience to commit to change by becoming an American Graduate Champion. And one easy way to do that is to volunteer in your own community, helping students find success in high school and beyond. Here's what you can do. Visit AmericanGraduate.org to connect with Grad Cincinnati and to learn how you can support the important work that they and so many others do. We now send you back to Wes Moore in New York.
Thank you so much. And as Patricia Stewart-Adams just said, and so many others can testify, mentoring kids can also provide adults with immeasurable personal rewards. It's something that I know and personally believe that if you're not going to do it to be selfless, do it to be selfish. It just helps us all to live better lives. Now, as I said at the top of the broadcast, we're going to be recognizing and honoring the dedicated volunteers and professional staffs that are working with the nonprofits profiled on the show today. Our goal when we first started planning for this program last year was to identify more than 1 million or more of these American Graduate Day champions. So as we end the second hour, it is my pleasure to say that the tally has already reached 963,010 people. And we have 5 more hours to go. I tell you, we maybe didn't set our bar high enough. Congratulations and our thanks to these champions. And please text us or visit us on Facebook and tell us about your champion. Share your story. Share the story of somebody else. But join our conversation. And maybe one day you can say that I am also an American Graduate Champion. It's time now to hand it back to Lauren Wanko, who is with some young journalists from PBS NewsHour's Student Reporting Labs, where they have a chance to learn about her job, TV news reporting, by covering us, the American Graduate Day broadcast. I am scared. Lauren, tell us who's with you.
No reason to be, because I mentor these students. Sophie Saban is with me, Micah Englund. Thank you both for being with me today. You're on assignment. Tell me what you're doing.
Well, we're really getting the feel of it, getting B-roll, interviewing people, finding out what American Graduate Day is, and, trying to understand what it's like to be a reporter.
And what is it like to be a reporter so far today?
Oh, it's fantastic. I'm just gaining experience for the next 2 years, and I could really see myself doing this for a profession later on in my career.
Do you actually want to be a TV reporter?
I think I might be. I think it's really fun just interviewing people, having a nice conversation with people, and I could really see myself doing it.
So speaking of wanting to be a reporter, we have the rest of your team here, so our folks at home know this isn't the only people in the mentorship class. We've got about 30 others, and some of them are here today, so let's wave hello to them. Hi guys, they're shooting all of this with their own camera and their own microphone. Tell me what this hands-on experience is going to be like, because you're going to take all of this material that you're shooting for hours and actually do something with it back at the school.
Well, we're probably going to put it into a package and give it to PBS, and they're going to ship it off right to the NewsHour. And
you make that sound really easy. People would kill for that.
Well, it's actually a lot of hard work. The editing, it takes a lot of hard hours, and I'm just glad that you and our teachers put in the hard work to put that package in on TV.
If I could give an A, I would, but I'm not authorized to give any grades. But thank you so much. We have another 2 years together because you're in the 7th grade. But Sophie, you just graduated.
Yes.
And you were honored this past summer, right?
Yeah, I was honored to be a PBS All-Star, and me and 10 other kids were shipped, and we went to Washington, D.C. It was really fun. We got to learn a lot of stuff about PBS, go more in depth about reporting, what it takes to be a good reporter. It was a really fun experience.
What do you think it takes to be a good reporter, Sophie?
Well, it takes courage. You have to be intelligent, and you have to be able to make up questions on the spot.
Ask questions on the spot too,
and you have
right?
to be able to have good questions.
What kind of questions?
Well, if I were to ask you a question, a good question for you is
we're running out of time. This is a teachable moment, so make it quick.
Okay, how is it like to mentor other children?
It's amazing. It's the best job in the world. It even beats this job. How about that? What do you think?
It's cool.
All right, we've got a lot to talk about here in our classroom visit. It's all happening though right here on American Graduate Day.
Hello, I'm Lynn May, and it is great to be part of American Graduate Day. We are continuing our discussion on the crucial role caring and consistent adults play in students' lives. Since 1987, an organization called NYC Outward Bound Schools has served more than 60,000 students in more than 300 schools in some of New York City's most underserved areas. They incorporate a successful school model called expeditionary learning, as well as innovative programs of their own, such as crew orientation. Now, this is a challenging 4 to 5 day wilderness adventure taken by all high school freshmen, and it promotes life skills and independence while creating bonds with their crew teams that continues throughout high school. And this approach has been getting some results. 95% of their graduates are accepted to college. Joining me in the studio are Meg Reardon of Expeditionary Learning, along with NYC Outward Bound school teacher and crew leader Craig Dorsey, as well as his student and crew member, senior Nubia Blake. And welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure to see you.
Pleasure.
And Meg, tell me what makes Expeditionary Learning unique?
Well, Expeditionary Learning is a K-12 nonprofit organization with over 20 years of experience in supporting students' success in three ways: academic success, but also through character and quality student work.
Can you give me an example, maybe something that's happening in the community of the way this works?
Sure. If students are studying ecosystem in 9th grade, you might go with your science teacher to the Hudson River and do water quality testing with a local scientist, or work with an urban park ranger to learn more about the Hudson River. And then in your English class, you might be writing a letter to a local Congress member advocating for improved water quality in the Hudson to make it safe for recreation.
Greg, tell me a little bit about your experience as a teacher, a crew leader.
You know, it's a refreshing model to take them out of their comfort zone, to take them upstate New York. I don't know if you remember one of the first nights when we were up there. We took a little bit late night hike and we laid down in the grass in the field.
Watch the stars, yep.
Right, Nubia,
Yes.
tell.
Well, it was a late night hike. Before being in Channelview, I never set foot into the woods, never was in the dark like that, no. I felt amazed, it was like a whole nother side of the world that I saw. It felt amazing.
How exciting, Craig, to give that to make possible through a program like this, that kind of opportunity.
It's overwhelming. It's such an honor, especially to work with young people like Nubia. But the crew orientation as a whole, those 4 or 5 days when you come back, it's a completely different experience. It's a completely different group. And to have the security of peers that you've trusted, that you've worked with, that you lived with, it brings a family atmosphere to a building. So we don't have as many problems as I think most typical public schools do. We have a platform for them to deal with their socio-emotional health.
Nubia, your father, who had been ill, died during Hurricane Sandy. What did your crew do for you?
Well, the main thing that they did for me was show up at my father's funeral. So just seeing a comforting face, it meant a lot to me. That was the time where I needed them the most, and they showed up.
And Meg, with your experiences in both parts of the program, what would you add to that as far as the importance of these kinds of programs for students?
Well, I think, I loved what Craig was saying, and Nubia, you too, about crew also, because we really see crew as a support system. You meet several times a week, and there's the academic support, but there's that social emotional support that is just, I think, really, it's very embedded in the structure of crew, and that might be health and wellness. And it also might be how to cope with stress, right? Especially in times that we've encountered like Sandy or other transitions that are taking place in the lives of young people.
For people who are running these important, valuable, innovative programs, what do you need more of?
We need more role models. We need more people to say, hey, you know what? I was your age once, and I was where you were sitting, and I'm here. And if you want to get here, I can show you how to get here.
I can take your hand.
Right.
It's delightful to have you all here. I thank you for being with us. You are absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
To learn more about NYC Outward Bound Schools and Expeditionary Learning, log on to AmericanGraduate.org. Be part of the team that helps keep kids on the path toward graduation. Become an American Graduate champion. Coming up next, we will talk to organizations providing students more and better learning through after-school and weekend programs. So stay tuned for some very inspirational stories.
American Graduate Day, a live nationwide outreach event